Thank you very much for sticking to NTV Press Box, the biggest show on Monday, 9:45 p.m. as we discuss everything sport really throughout the weekend. We're proudly powered by DSTV and Guinness, and welcome here to a segment that now focuses on Ugandan football. We talk everything the Mutesa 2 grounds in Wankulukuku. There's been a change in guard at the very top. A practicing lawyer is now the new chairman of Express Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in the country, and in so many ways one of the three traditional sides, alongside Villa and of course KCCA. Mr. Kiryowa is with us now to discuss everything Express. I'll tell you what, I don't know much about your footballing history, which is one of the things you're definitely going to explain on the show, but I've received a text message from a very big Express fan called Jomo Gilbert, a very good friend of mine as well. He says, "Hi Andrew, tell KK that I'm so happy to have him as my chairman at Express Mukwano Gwabanji. I'm back to my true FC of choice." I think this is good information. I'll start off by asking KK. Last season was turmoil. We've had so many bad headlines about Express. I'm sure you've come in with a vision. But do you know what you're walking into?
I'm walking into Express. I was born there. I know Express like the back of my palm. I know Express is about football. All this other turmoil that we're talking about, it's just the usual banter. We are about Express. Express is about passion. Express is not a football club. Express is a way of life. And the problems that we've been having with Express is the failure to understand that Express is a way of life. It's a culture. It's that thing that you do not pick up on the street. It's something that you grow into. So I know exactly what I'm walking into. I know I'm walking into a club that has a history, that has a passion, that has the support. All we needed to do is just reorganize ourselves and we'll get there. So I'm very okay where I am.
Give me a quick feel about your support for Express from time back. And also if I could ask you, at what point do you sit and say, I'm going to be the chairman now?
Actually, I was born into Express. I didn't know any other club. I didn't know any other colors other than red, white and black for the whole of my life. As you grow older, the passion for the sport and the things that happen and probably the various changes that Express has had, very, very, very many changes. From the time it was banned, there was that era then from 1980-81 when my father took over. Then we had another period just before Patrick Kiwanuka took over. It was a period, there was actually a time when there was a proposal to have KK Cosmos, a splinter group away from Express. We survived that tide. We went into another era of new management into Express, brand new, without historical ties. That time has come to pass, and I think it is about time that we start going back to our old ways, because old ways and new ways have to get to a point where they meet. So we have been at that crossroad, and I think it's just about time that we start going back to our roots. I think that is what we need to re-emphasize in Express. I
want to bring in, one of the beautiful things about having you on the press box is we have one of the biggest fans of Express on the press box as well, who last season kept emphasizing they will survive and stay in the Premier League. So they did, Mr. Maxali. But just before I bring him in, I really want to take you slightly off Express, but involve Express as well. Every Ugandan football fan is not happy about the bad headlines some of the biggest clubs in Uganda have. Whether it's from discipline of fans at venue, whether it's to financing of the teams, whether it's to buying of players, whether it's from management changes, legalities and everything. Could that have been a motivation for you? And do you come into Express knowing all this as a background in Ugandan football that you must sort?
Express has always been a leader. And when the leader falls off the track, everyone else follows. Now, if Express gets back in line, then Ugandan football will also get back in line. The turmoil that is in Express is just simply in discipline. It's just in discipline. But for any sport that you're going to do, the first thing that you have to have is discipline. Now, Express fights on the pitch, off the pitch, financial issues, that's all in discipline of different nature. We're going to deal with that. For the first time, I can assure you, viewers, Express is going to operate in a structured manner. I am not a technician in football. I will not tell you that I know how to choose players. That's not my business. I am probably not a very good marketer. That's not necessarily my business. I'm an administrator and I'll do what I have to do, and other people will have to do. The fans have their part. The part doesn't include throwing stones because it doesn't help win. It doesn't score goals. Football is about scoring goals and playing and kicking the ball. So if you're a fan and you want to help Express, you can't throw stones. If you throw stones, you're definitely not a friend of Express. So that discipline must be inculcated at all levels of the sport. And we will do that. Trust me, we will.
Yeah.
Mark, as a very big Express fan,
Yes.
good times?
Yeah, I'll tell you, when we talk about fans and indiscipline, yes, there's been a bit of a history, and not just with Express, but SC Villa also do have their fair share of the stone-throwing fans. What I saw, for example, you know very well here on the show that I went for the last games as Express were trying to survive, no matter where they were going, whether it was in Masavu on the last day or in Chitende for that big thrashing, or it was Maroons in Luzira. The thing though is that you see two sides to the fans. Some of the stone throwing you're talking about is out of a frustration born of a long period of suffering, and that suffering it manifests itself in terms of the results and performances and results. But where it stems from actually is from leadership issues,
Yes.
the leadership gaps that have been there. So and that's why I'm going to ask him. But I'll tell you that it's the same fans who are throwing stones, who also pulled out all the stops to give Alfred Leku money when he actually scored the goal that kept Express in the league. So I mean, they've got two sides to them. Make them happy, and that's what they give you. But when they have direction, when they have leadership, and they see that the club is doing well, that will not be a factor. I'm sure for Express fans it won't be a factor. But that's where we need for Keke to tell us that leadership. What does it entail? What has he brought to the table?
Yes.
What in terms of personnel, and especially in terms of funding, because Ugandan football clubs, especially those that are not institution-based like SCCA, are suffering from finance issues. The era of the
Deep pocket.
Of the sugar daddy, the era of Godfrey Chirumira or Patrick Kawoya are far behind us. So he should tell us. Is he going to be the new Chirumira digging into his pocket, or what plans does he have for the club?
He has
deep pockets, right? I don't know, but let him tell us. Yeah.
Just to add on what Maxal is saying, his leadership at the Uganda Golf Union saw a lot of success there, but clearly golf and Express are very different.
Two different ball games, yeah?
Yeah, it's a different ball game. So exactly, what are you going to do at Express?
No one wants to put their money in nonsense. No one is going to do that. And for football and for any sport, no one is going to put their money to be wasted. They want results. And the results are not only exhibited in the number of goals you score, but even in the way you conduct yourself. So if I am an Express fan, which I am, you're organized, you're spending the money where it's supposed to be spent, but you didn't score the goal, I'll understand that there's a problem. It's not that. But if I'm giving you money, you're wasting the money, and you're not scoring goals, then clearly there's a problem. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is, first of all, sort out our discipline as a leadership. That's the first thing. Then we're going to go out to the sponsors and say, we want your support. I must tell you that I am not going to pick money from my pocket. That era is long gone. Our fathers did that. That era is long gone.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work. The things have changed. The world is changing. And actually, you need to spend more time in your brain as opposed to in your pocket. You need to spend more time thinking and strategizing on how to get things right. And I can tell you with no fear of contradiction that I'll get the support. Even today, I've been talking to a sponsor, a very big sponsor. I can tell you that by the time the first kickoff happens,
1st September.
Which is first
which
September,
it's a week. It's a week away. Express is going to be the most talked about club in terms of sponsorship support, and that I can promise the fans. Now, what I want the fans to do, on the other hand, is to respect the sponsor. And by respecting the sponsor, you come to the stadium, do the right thing, do your part, let the players do their part. So, yes, I can assure the fans that, actually not really the fans, I want to assure the technical team and management of the club that we shall have sufficient resources to run the affairs of the club for this season. Starting on the 1st, we shall have everything that we need to do what we have to do. They just have to do their part.
I mean, look,
that's 90% of the problem solved right there.
As an Express
those are
fan,
powerful words. I'm telling
you'll be waiting for this. But I mean, I was seeing headlines today. Fabian Mutombora, a Burundian goalkeeper, has already been signed to Express Football Club, which, of course, for most of the fans, they really would want to know, what is your plan moving forward? I wanted to ask you about the administrative part first, in terms of people you will be working with, put Express first. But let me start with the playing staff. What kind of investment are they expecting? Does anything change from last season?
Well, what I can assure the viewers, that if you want to get a result from any human resource, you must invest in it. The first thing that we must understand, that the number one human resource for a football club such as ours is the player. So before I can think about remunerating the CEO, I must think about remunerating the player. So if the player is happy, the CEO will be happy. So definitely, I don't want to give details. I haven't even met the players, because that's not my job. But I will get there. Before they start the season, I will talk to them. I have received what their expectations are, and I'll handle them. And then I'll talk to them and then hear from them what their expectations are. And we'll deal with them. But they must give me something back.
Yes.
No, but Keke, here's my issue. Because, look, I think if I was an Express fan watching from home, I would be happy with what you're saying, because everything seems powerful at the moment. But from a management perspective, do you realize how far Express have fallen off? Do you realize the task ahead of you? Or is it more about thinking we're a big traditional club, we shall sign 2 or 3 players, a coach, and we shall... Do you realize how far Express has fallen back?
How far can it go?
I don't think it can go any further.
It can't go any further. So my only direction is up. And that's where I'm looking. I've not even looked down.
And Keke, what's the target? What do you want to achieve in the next season?
This season, I have a target which I've shared with my technical team. And I've told them I do not want to go anywhere below number 4.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it. If they don't get number 4, they haven't delivered. And then we'll have to discuss what it is that we have to do to get to number 4. It's a tough time for Express. Let no one be deceived. It's a very tough time for Express. But in the last couple of days I've been around, I have noticed a great resilience in the people I have found in Express, especially the footballing staff. They've stuck it out in good times and in bad times. And for me, that tells me something more from where I started from. It tells me about the culture. Express is a way of life. It's not about good times. It's about good times and bad times. And those people who have stuck it out, I want to see that they get a return on their investment to the time they have stuck through this difficult time with Express. But also you must understand, viewers, that, guys, so many people have actually spent a lot of time, money, and effort to keep Express to where it is. To save it, the fans did what they had to do.
Yes.
The management did what it had to do. The fans did what they had to do. They had to go back into the stadium to make it happen. So, what do you give them? A result. And I'll tell you, gentlemen and lady, I am going to give you a result.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the sponsors? Do you want to let the cat out of the bag?
One, I don't think it's a good idea, because I have, I must say that I have a press conference on Thursday to unveil one of the partners.
Yes.
I have a press conference on Friday to unveil another partner. We have a press conference next week to unveil the new kit, because we are doing that. So all these 3 events are set.
Yes.
Now for me, I can tell you that I will be in the stadium on the 1st of September with a football team that I am able to pay with the kit.
Yes.
What more do I need? I think football has to provide the football.
They do. Tell us about Keke, tell us about the team you're assembling, because like you just said, you're not going to meddle in business that's not yours, like the technical issues of how the team plays and all.
Yeah.
What kind of team are you putting together? Who are these guys? And is it out with the old and in with the new? Is it a blend? Who are these people?
First of all, I have the list.
Yes.
I've seen them. Some are new, some are old, but many are old.
Yes.
Many are old. Secondly, the team is going to be, we have players who are out there, and the selection is being done in order for us to put in the statutes, in order to meet the FUFA requirement. And that's being done. Now, for me, to be honest with you, I will not name anyone here.
Yes, of your new team.
Of my new team, and I told the technical team that there must be order in the way information is shared and managed in as far as Express is concerned. And I think at the unveiling of the jersey, the plan is to unveil the squad.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
but I was
Okay.
not asking about just the squad. I'm saying that your team, your management team.
Oh, the management team.
Yeah, that new team. Who
Now,
are this-
the new team that we have is what we've done now is we've got a new structure where we have the shareholders. We have the we'll discuss that issue of the shareholders and the ownership at the appropriate time. That's not now, because right now we have the immediate term, which is to get our team into the field by the 1st of September. Then we
Yes.
have the immediate term, and then the medium term and long term. But right now, what we have is we have an executive. We're going to have an executive board. We now have a 20-man advisory team where all of us sit. Out of that, there will be 5 committees. There will be the committee on strategy. There will be a committee on human resource and administration. There will be a committee on finance. There will be a committee on management, and there will be a technical committee on footballing affairs. Now, the strategic committee will be dealing with the issues that are taking us into the median term. The technical committee will be is already dealing with the immediate business, dealing with the footballing. Then we have the marketing committee, which have been dealing with a few people, getting to the sponsors and that kind of thing. Then we are going to set up a finance committee and a human resource and thing. Now, the team we have, I have several, 20. We have myself, there's Dr. Sam Sejaka, there's Francis Bule, there's Alex Munobe, there's Moses Banturachi, there is Henry Njuba, there is the former President Haji Buladda, there is former President Ntalazi, there is there's 20 people.
You know,
Powerful,
look,
very, very powerful.
Wow, those are powerful names.
That was going to be one of
Just
my
saying out
questions, because when we've followed what has been happening at Express over the years, there's been this management comes in, they can't work with the management what was around before, yet maybe the previous management had some Express legends, so some of the fans are not happy about that. How close are you going to work with some of those former administrators of the club, former financiers as well, but probably more interestingly, do we have that old traditional kakuyege for the fans that should be coming up for Express?
Yeah, actually, some of the people in that advisory team are from the funds, the funds trust, because they're setting up a funds trust. I found this already in the works, so I've asked the funds representatives to come to the advisory team. We have some technical people. We have obviously the CEO. We have some people who are helping us with management. I have spoken to Haji Buladda. We've been engaging. I've been picking his mind. I've spoken to Mr. Bule. I've spoken to Mr. Ntalazi. I've spoken to Kavuma Kabenge.
That's what people wanted to hear, that you've got all these guys on board. And Prince
handling
Nachibinge?
everything.
Prince Nachibinga, I've made an appointment to see him. Things have been happening so fast, but I've actually, he has given me an appointment anytime after tomorrow,
Yes.
and I'm going to meet with him. You see, for me, one thing that we must understand is that I'm not here for me. I'm here for Express.
Yes.
And as long as anyone is Express, then we are reading from the same hymn book.
Yes.
So if you have a view, a person's view can't all be wrong. It's not possible that a person can have only wrong ideas.
Yes.
And in any case, if they are wrong, I need to interrogate them to determine that in fact they are wrong. So what I need to do is first listen to them. So we have an advisory committee which is both old and new,
Yes.
out of which we shall get the board, and out of the advisory committee we'll get the different committees, which different committees will then feed into the management team. One of the problems that Express would have is where so many people are giving instructions to the same person. And if these instructions contradict, then you get a problem.
Keke,
Yes,
we're running out of
Hamza Junju
time.
and the team
Yes.
have had this challenge, I think, in the past, where they've, there's so many people who are telling them to do, and at some point nobody telling them what they're supposed to do.
No,
Because they don't know who
I want to let Mark
talk to.
I want to let Mark and Ash have one final question, because we're running out of time. But again, my final question should be, Express fans are happy now, KK, that there seems to be some sanity in Wankulukuku. But let's make them dream. 3-4 seasons down the road?
Oh no, 3-4 seasons may be a bit too far. 2 seasons down the road? No, honestly,
we shall hold you to
hold me to it.
Yeah.
2 seasons down the road, we'll be playing for it. And let no one, this season you may get away with it, but trust me, next season you're not getting away with it. We've gotten in running. So many things are happening at the same time. Even as we speak right now, I have to leave here, sit with the CEO and fill out all these many documents of FUFA and meet all these deadlines.
Yes.
We shall meet them. We shall struggle on this side. But what I can tell you is that once my footballing team is sorted and someone is dealing with that, we'll deal with the administration.
Mark, your final, because I want to go for a break, but your final word to KK or to the Express fans as one of them.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan, and I'm excited, and I'm telling Express fans out there, in case they don't know, because listening to him here and listening to him and some of the team, as I've managed to been privileged to a little bit over the last few days, is clearly a change is coming, and it's going to sweep Wankulukuku in a major way. So it's very simple for me, the way I see it, because I've been in the stands with these guys. Thankfully for me, my football history is that way. I started out in the stands with these guys, then I became a licensed player, then I couldn't play anymore, then I became a journalist, then I did a bit of administrating, and then I commented on the game. Now I analyze it, and the cycle is going back the other way.
Yes.
I've returned to the stands
Are you
over the
going
last...
back to play again?
No,
chance.
stands.
No
Yeah,
chance.
no, I returned to the stands over the end of last season, and for me, the exciting times that are coming in just remind me of the sweeping changes that happened at Express in 1991, and because there'd been that era after all the time. Well, he talked about the ban in the late 70s, and then some of the issues that happened in the mid to late 80s, and then all of a sudden, Express turned anew. 1991, new coach. Unfortunately, that's when. The Chiberu passed on. New players, young breed of guys came in. Kefa Chisala, who is the coach now, the Joseph Mutiabas, the Fred Tamales, Robert Alarosa. No, that sweeping changes that brought a new team into Express, and Oti took over. That represented the start of the most successful period in Express's history, because between 1991 and 97, it was 7 straight seasons in which they won a trophy, including 3 titles and a double in 95.
Yes.
And that's now me as an experienced Express person. That is exactly how I'm feeling sitting next to KK now.
That's the time you went
I'm
back.
thinking that's what Express is going to go through over the next decade. And believe me, that feeling must be right. It can't be a coincidence that I feel like that.
Yeah,
So,
but I think next time you've got to watch out for the color of tie you put on. The folks at Villa Park are not happy with it. Asa, I think your final word before KK.
Yes, my final question to you, KK. There's so many Express fans out there, but they're in Kamoli, as people like to say.
Kamoli, yeah?
Yes. What are you going to do to bring them back? You know, the corporate fans who, every time Wankulukuku is mentioned, they think stone throwing. So how are you going to get back all those fans, even across the country, not just in Kampala? Get them back, have maybe membership cards. What are your plans?
I think you've been reading some of my papers.
Yes,
We are actually going to, there's so many things we intend to do. One of them is we are going digital. We're going to go digital in Wankuluku. And one of the things that you'll need is your membership card in order to get all these packs. One of the things that I'm negotiating with all my sponsors is there must be a give back to my fans.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you come to sponsor, you're going to sponsor the game. What is in it for the farm? What is the product that you're bringing to them to take home with them? They'll take home the happiness, but what is it of yours that you're taking home? So the fans of Express, what I can ask of them is that come and support the team. Come in the stadium. Stand with those 11 guys on the pitch. Let's do the work in the kitchen. Give us some time and trust us. Trust me, the fans will be happy. The first thing that they need to see is a resurgence of a discipline of Express and a culture. So when we say Mukwano Gwabanji, it means we are friends. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So we need to be friends, and I don't think we'll be stoning our friends. No, we won't.
You know, okay, I was going to give you a chance to wrap up, but it seems you have wrapped up. But I'll still give you another chance to wrap up since you're in charge now. There's change of management at Express. You talk about releasing a new kit, new players, and a new sponsor in the next few. You come at a time when the league has a new television money, so probably not the worst time to come into management as well. But I think your concluding marks about your new role and to the Express fans.
My concluding remarks are, colleagues, fans, discipline is paramount. We must know, everyone must know their role in Express. I'm in charge of administration. You're a fan, you're in charge of supporting the team. The coach is in charge, and the technical team are in charge of selecting the team, and the CEO and his team are in charge of the day-to-day management of the club. Don't bring issues to do with the management, day-to-day management of Express, to me, that's not my job. Take it to the CEO so we can start to respect those channels
Yes.
of communication so that we can build a worthwhile and standing institution. We must start today and build an institution that will stay here much longer than we are talking about. So that's my message to the fans, to all viewers. Let everyone go back, soul search, and determine what their role is in Express.
Mr. Kiwanuka, thank you very much, the new chairman at Express. Wish you all the best. Certainly,
you.
the press box will be discussing everything Wangulukuku, and we shall be waiting for next season to see how you guys do. There you go. If you do support Express, you should be a very happy person, because I tell you what, there's been a change in guard at the Mtesa 2 grounds, and you're only hoping for the best moving forward. The Uganda Premier League is back just around the corner, and well, if you're one of those in red, you probably will be super excited. Join us on Twitter. The hashtag is NTV Pressbox. React to the new chairman's thoughts and plans for Express moving forward. And maybe if you support KCCA or Villa, hey, it seems the elephant down in Wankulukuku is waking up once again. Joel Kamadi is joining us for all the reaction on our social media. Joel, I'm sure you have a very interesting guest for us this week, but what exactly is happening on social media about Express?